Hey, you awesome human beings. I was just chilling in the backyard with little puppy dog Nala and then some of the chickens there. And I was thinking back on some really like silly little mistakes that I made. And I thought I'd just do, like, while it was fresh in my mind, I thought I'd do a little video on it because hopefully this can help some of you guys, because this really stopped me from making a lot of money. It stopped me from really experiencing a lot of happiness as well. And so hopefully out of this video, you can learn from my dumb mistakes, of which there are so many, but hopefully you can learn from this one and not suffer the same consequences that I did. So a few years ago, I was working my butt off, right? In work, like things were going pretty well. We're turning over like 500, 600K a year. And we had, 5, 6 employees. Things were going well. Like everything was moving along really quite well in the business end, but I was just working my butt off. I was super stressed all the time, worrying about money, making sure we had enough cash in the bank account, which there was always plenty of money going around, and everything was constantly growing, but I was always still worried about it. I was just really anxious. I didn't sleep terribly well. My brain was very, very foggy all the time. I wasn't as motivated as what I wanted to be. Like it was a grind to get me to do stuff. In fact, everything just felt difficult all the time. And it was starting to have flow-on effects into other areas of my life. Like when I would go to the gym, for example, I'd be in the gym and I'd be just on my phone the whole time. And I'm a pro bodybuilder. I competed in IFBB in the physique division. I competed all over the world in bodybuilding. And I love the gym. Like I've been training for years, and just all of a sudden it stopped being fun, and I started just working when I was in the gym all the time. So I started getting fat, and I started like losing muscle, started losing motivation. Everything started moving backwards, and then on top of that too, every spare second of my day was just thinking about work. Like I was just always on my phone or on my laptop. I was pushing massive weeks, and it just felt like I was putting in so much effort for not getting anywhere. I was even working on the toilet, right? So even when I was having a crap, I was still trying to work because I had this view that it was a way to be maximally productive and use every single second of my day, right? Even in my relationship, like my beautiful wife, Soph, she's amazing. For those of you who know her, you'll know how incredible this woman is. She's beautiful, inside and out. But we'd be going on date nights and she'd be talking, and then I'd be just staring off into the distance, like thinking about stuff at work. Like I was physically present, but not mentally present. And even my sleep started going to crap too, because I was just constantly thinking about work. Before I go to bed, all I was thinking about was like what I had to do the next day. And even throughout the night, I would wake up dreaming about stuff that didn't exist in my business. Like I would have like imaginary clients who I hadn't looked after properly. Like one of the things with our coaching, one of the things I'm kind of proud of, but not proud of at the same time, is like I'm very like hectic on making sure that everyone has an amazing client experience with us, right? And so I was dreaming about guys who I hadn't looked after properly, and I'd like wake up in a fluster thinking about all this stuff that I hadn't done. And so every morning when I woke up, I would wake up tired because I hardly slept. I'd wake up anxious. I'd have poor energy because of it. And I'd just be thinking about all the stuff that I need to do throughout the day. And it just kept going on this cycle where it just felt like business was difficult and business is hard, and things were difficult and hard. And it was just like I was never getting anywhere at the rate which I would like to. And so because business was feeling so hard and because we weren't growing as quickly as what I wanted to, I went and I hired a business coach. And I told him about where I was at and everything. And I sat down there. I had this massive list of everything that I needed to work on, everything that needed to be better, and exactly what I thought we needed to do. And he just sat there and he just looked at me and he just laughed. And I was like, what's funny, dude? Like, there's nothing funny about this. I'm not having a fun time. Can you just help me? And he said, so James, you've come to me for advice, like on how to improve your marketing, improve your sales, improve the running of your business, right? And he said, yeah. And I said, yeah, of course. That's exactly why you're here. And he just looked at me and he said, James, your business is perfectly fine, right? What you do is great. Like everything you have, I've seen it, it's good. But let me just ask you this one question. How well do you work when you're hungover? And I was like, I don't know, not well. And he's like, well, how do you feel when you're hungover? I'm like, yeah, well, I feel pretty tired. I've drank a lot, and so I feel tired. I haven't slept well. I'm anxious. I'm thinking about stuff that I've either done in the past, all these things that I'm going to regret the next day, or thinking about shit that I've got to do, which I'm not going to feel good for. And he said, okay, and how do you train? Like when you're in the gym, how do you train when you're hungover? And I said, oh, well, pretty crap, obviously. And he says, okay, well, what about as a partner? Like, how are you to Soph when you're hungover? And I said, pretty crappy. I'm not really present. I'm like exhausted, just want to sit down and watch TV and, veg out and do that. And he says, exactly. I'm like, what do you mean? And he says, well, can you not join the dots together? And that was the moment when it clicked for me. It was like, everything in my life feels difficult because I'm working every single day like I'm hungover, because I'm tired, I have low energy, I've got anxiety, I'm not making good decisions, I've got brain fog or bad focus, I'm not highly motivated. Everything is hard. And I was like, oh, so you're saying right now I'm hungover? And he's like, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, is that you're acting like you're hungover. You're hungover right now, but you're expecting to perform like you're at your absolute peak. Your business cannot grow if you are always holding it back. Your relationship isn't going to be great if you're rocking up to every single date night hungover. Your sessions at the gym are not going to be productive. And of course, you're going to get fat. And of course, you're going to lose muscle. And of course, you're going to lose strength if you're hungover all the time. And that's when it really hit me. And I was like, okay, well, I got to fix this clearly, because I can implement any strategy, any system. I can implement anything new for marketing or whatever, but none of it's going to do anything if I can't execute it well, because I'm always hungover and I'm always tired. And I was like, thank you, amazing. That one bit of advice has just already paid for this whole course. And then I asked him, I was like, okay, so well, what should I do? And he laughed at me and he said, James, you're the performance coach, right? You go out and fix it. That's your thing. I've done my job. You go and do it. I was like, okay, cool. So I started reading, started researching, and I dug up some old notes of ours and pretty much went through and I looked at all the symptoms I have, right? Low energy, anxiety, stress, brain fog, low motivation, just feeling burnt out, right? It was just hectic burnout. And so I started looking into like the chemistry of burnout and like how that actually happens and everything. And I came up with this. When we're starting to get burnt out, I should actually go back a little bit. There's this system that we have within the body, okay? It's called the nervous system. The nervous system regulates absolutely everything, every single thought, every single feeling, every single action, like our whole thing. Our nervous system refers to our brain and all of the nerves that come throughout it. We know that the brain runs the show, right? And the nerves, they all run the show, and they pretty much let us function the way that we do. Now, within the nervous system, there are two main components of it, right? We have the fight or flight nervous system, or the rest and digest nervous system, also known as the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, when the sympathetic nervous system ramps up and gets activated, that's when we're stressed. That's when we've got lots of things going on in our mind, and pretty much our brain is perceiving a threat. And if this nervous system gets activated for too long, then we start getting low energy. We start not sleeping well. We start becoming tired. We start becoming anxious. We start becoming stressed. Our sex drive starts to go. Our digestive function starts to go. We start getting, sore and cranky and lethargic, and we just get burnt out. That's essentially what burnout is, when we're living in the sympathetic nervous system for too long. And then on the other side of it is the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest, which is where we're chilled out, we're relaxed, we're eating our food, we're just hanging out, we're very, very calm, we sleep well, there's no stress, no anxiety, maximum creativity, and we're in a position where our body can really thrive. I was like, okay, cool. Well, so currently I'm in burnout mode, aka the sympathetic, and I need to get over here into the parasympathetic. And the way that we do this is as follows, right? What we need to do is we need to make it so that our body, sorry if I'm a little bit shaky on the camera, by the way. We need to make it so that our body is able to stay easily in rest and digest as much as possible. And one of the biggest issues that we have as business owners is that we always go through a certain bit of stress. There's always going to be stress there. So how can I fix this? And I worked on that for months, right? I took some time off, and I took some downtime. I thought, okay, how am I going to fix this, right? And so I went through and I worked my ass off on it, and I came up with a system on exactly what we need to do. And I made it so that this system would work if I slept well, right? I knew that the system was proven it would work if I slept well, if I no longer had anxiety, if I got my energy back, if I got my sex drive back. I didn't mention that before. My sex drive was gone. And for any of you guys who know me, it's like, well, sex is a big part of my life. And my sex drive was gone. So if I get that back, it's good. If my digestion's good, then I'm in a good spot. If I just feel good and I no longer feel burnt out, that's when I'm winning, right? Because then as that happens, I'll be able to make more money. I'll be able to be more present with Soph. I'll be less stressed about work, and I'll just feel a hell of a lot better. And so I'm just going to help out the sun. It's cooking me there. And so I went around and I played around with the system. And It worked because for the first time in months, I actually felt awesome. I slept well. I recovered well. I had my energy back. I had my mojo back. I was like motivated again. I was out to go and crush it. We implemented a heap of cool shit in our business. We started running some events. It was really, really fun. But then the coolest part was that I was able to connect with Soph properly, and I was able to listen to her. Like, Soph's amazing. I don't know if any of you guys know who she is or you've met her, but like, she's incredible. She's the most amazing woman. I'm so blessed to be married to her. And I was able to connect with her again. I was able to be there with her again. I was able to like lose fat. I was able to get a little bit more jacked. I was able to get a little bit stronger. I felt a little bit less injured, a little bit less beat up. And I was like, hell yeah, this stuff's working. And so what we started doing is I started rolling it out with a heap of our clients and guys that we're working with. And then it started working for them too. And so since that time, we've now used this method on about 6,700 dudes total, right? And it works. So this thing is like, it's not something I've just pulled out of my ass. This is like tried and tested and proven. And so I've shown that whenever we get ourselves out of being in burnout, stuck in that sympathetic burnout state, and get ourselves into a resting, calm, relaxed state, we can do so much better. And we've had guys who've been on our program use this, and we've got one guy by the name of Marcus who went from literally broke as fuck, like literally about to go bankrupt. He had $0 in the bank. And he's about to do about $50 million in turnover this year, maybe 70 million, right? If it comes through. Got another guy, Nashi, who works with us as well. He's an incredible guy. You've probably seen Nashi before. And he came to us and he was stressed out. He was on antidepressants. He was addicted to opiates. He had no testosterone. He was hardly there for his kids. He was in a job that was just super not fulfilling. And we now got into a stage where he's absolutely dominating. I think he's like tripled his income. He's making big coin now, like tripled his income, tripled his testosterone as well. And that was in 10 weeks. We got him off the NTDs. We got him off the opioids as well. Like, he's absolutely crushing it, all from doing this. And so really, if we want to be able to make more money, have more fun at work, like actually make our jobs and our careers fun again, and to have better relationships, be there for our partner, be there for our kids, be the dads that we want to be for our kids, and to be healthy while we're doing this, we need to optimize our nervous system, right? We need to get out of that burnout, sympathetic state into the relaxed, calm, rest and digest state, because that is where all the magic happens. And so you're probably thinking, well, how do we do that, right? What's the way? Here's how we do it for our guys. This is exactly what we did for Marcus. This is exactly what we did for Nashi, right? So there are three key components, right, to our program, to how it works. So the very first thing is that we give all of our guys a structure, right? They follow every single day. Map it out. Super simple, super easy, right? So it's just step by step by step. Map it out 1, 2, 3, 4. Make it as simple and as easy to implement as possible. So we try and make it so it just takes as little time as possible, right? So that's the first thing. Have a program, have a structure that you follow every single day. Step number 2 is accountability, right? You need to, when we're in this state where we're in burnout, we need someone to hold us accountable to changing, because when we're in burnout, we're very resistant to change. I mean, you probably even see people in the comment section who are like talking shit on this, or like saying this isn't going to work, or it's bullshit. It's like, that's what you do when you're in burnout. You like put yourself into this defensive cocoon and you shut yourself off to any new ideas. And so what we do is we have guys to hold you accountable so that you don't go into that state, so that you come out of that, and so that you can actually get better and you can feel the way that you want to feel. And then the third thing is we teach you how to never do this again, and so that you can actually keep this for the rest of your life. And one of the things that I really pride myself on in our course, and one of the things that I really love the most about what we do, is that it is permanent, right? And the changes that we make, we want them to stick with you for the whole of your life, but we want you to also be able to teach your kids as well, your employees, the people that are around you, so that they don't have to go through this as well. Because us as business owners and guys who are successful, it's like, that's our job, is to pass information on. And so we're going to give you this information so that not just you're going to never suffer this again, but nobody in your life that you care about will ever suffer from it again as well. You get what I mean? And so that's how it works, the 3 steps. So number 1, structure. Number 2, accountability. And number 3, information, so that you can pass down this info forever and ever and ever, so that no man ever needs to get burnt out again. And some of you are probably thinking like, well, how do I know this is actually going to work? How do I know this is the real deal? Well, you can go ask Marcus and Nashi and they'll tell you, but there's also like 6,700 other dudes who've done this. It's not like something, as I said, it's not something I've just pulled out of my ass. Like, this is actually tried and tested and true, and it works. And it's worked on me, and it's worked on like thousands of other guys as well. It's going to work on you too. Well, actually, no, I shouldn't say that. It's about roughly 94% of people who come through our program succeed. There's about 6% who don't. You know the difference between the two is that the 94% follow the plan, 6% don't. So if you're somebody who wants to blame everyone else and wants to be a victim and wants to say, oh, nothing can work. I mean, we had this guy the other day and he said, I've got ADHD. This plan won't work for me. I'm like, what do you mean, bro? I got that stuff. Like half of our coaches on our team have ADHD as well. Like, what do you mean? And it's like, if you come up with ideas and silly things like that, yeah, of course, you're never going to get results because you think that you're unique. You think that you're somehow different to everybody else. I'm like, no. Everybody has a nervous system. Everybody has a rest and digest, and everybody has a burnout mode. And if you fix that, you will win. It's like, it's that simple. It's the science is very, very simple with it. And so if you want to be part of the 94% who go out and crush it and you just take on everything and just move forwards and crush it, you'll do exceptionally well, just like we've had thousands of guys do. But if you want to try and say, oh, I'm unique and nothing can fix me, well, yeah, like, no, nothing's going to work for you. But that's going to be nothing ever in your life will ever work for you. Like, you get what I'm saying? But if you have any questions, just let us know. So if you want, just pop your information in down below, click the application there, and you can book in a time to have a chat with us over the phone, okay? And what we'll do on that call is we'll uncover exactly what's going on, what your situation is, where you are right now, where you want to be, and every single thing that's holding you back. And then once we've figured that out, we'll come up with a game plan on exactly what you need to do in order to dominate, and we'll make it so that you absolutely crush it. Okay, so just down there on the link, just click the link, fill in your information, and then from there we'll just rock on and make it so that you absolutely crush it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, reach out. We're always here. Just book in a call or just pop in your information there and then book in a call. We'll have a chat and we'll see exactly what we can do to help you out. Have a wonderful day. I'll speak to you soon. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you got something out of it and you want to learn more, click the link below or type in High Performance Conversations with James Cant and you'll be able to check out all the podcasts that we've done. We cover a stack of different topics, everything from getting your mojo back, overcoming anxiety, self-doubt, self-esteem, and learning from some of the industries and some of the world's top performers in both business and in health. Look forward to having you on there.